You know that canceled live-action Powerpuff Girls CW show that everybody's dunking on? Well, it had me thinking about a lot of Cartoon Network other canceled projects. Surprisingly, there's quite a few of them. So I decided to compile them into a list. In October of 2002, directly after Powerpuff Girls the movie ended its theatrical run, Cartoon Network announced plans for a live-action Johnny Bravo movie, starring, of all people, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. At the time, Dwayne The Rock Johnson wasn't as well known. In fact, he had only starred in like two movies, I think. He was primarily known for the WWE and his promos. As far as I can tell, this movie was definitely going to go into production, but it didn't. One of the theories I've heard as to why this movie never actually came out was due to the Scooby-Doo movie of all things. Yeah, that Scooby-Doo movie. By the way, directed by James Gunn of all people. For those who don't know, the original Scooby-Doo movie was definitely supposed to be rated R, something that I don't feel like I need to get into, with a lot of drug jokes and sexual innuendo. But Warner Brothers got cold feet halfway through production and mandated that the movie be made child-friendly, which took a lot of time and work, and also ended up in the movie being rewrote on set midway through production. From what I can tell, this ended up leading to the halted production of the Johnny Bravo movie, at least temporarily. And if you know anything about that original Scooby-Doo movie, it did pretty well financially, a large part due to that CGI talking dog, something that the Johnny Bravo movie just wasn't gonna have. And I imagine Warner Brothers just decided not to go with that, and instead reallocate their resources and time into doing a direct sequel to the Scooby-Doo movie. Untitled Ben 10 movie. Yeah, this is probably going to be the messiest production I've talked about, and probably will talk about throughout this entire video. It's hard to find any good information about this movie, and even trust which sources are real and which ones are. On top of that, it doesn't really help that there are already two live-action Ben 10 movies that this would have apparently had nothing to do with. 2007's Ben 10 Race Against Time, and 2009's Alien Swarm. Neither one of these movies released in theaters, both of them being Cartoon Network original movies, both apparently doing really well, especially the first one. As far as information that can be confirmed, in around 2011, Warner Brothers announced a live-action Ben 10 movie, produced by Joel Silver from The Matrix and Lethal Weapon. The film was meant to bring Ben 10 to the big screen with a high-budget, action-packed adventure. And that's about all we know about, as this film never seemed to actually end its production cycle, but also never really was being worked on past a certain point. Initially, Cartoon Network did advertise this movie's existence, but again, before it even got made, it's unclear what this movie was going to be about. Was it going to be about the 10-year-old Ben or the 15, 16-year-old Ben? Who was the villain? What was even going on in this? At some point, as recently as a couple of years ago, there was theories floating around that this was being reworked into an HBO live-action series that apparently got canceled. There were also recent talks about Ben 10 live-action movies potentially being a thing, although that also seems to be going nowhere. Again, this is just very confusing. There's literally nothing we know about this besides what Warner Bros. Officially confirmed all the way back in 2011.
We want a picture, not Harry!
Benjamin.
Hey guys, this is me later on, just coming in to say, yeah guys, my mic's kind of messed up, so you guys are just gonna have to bear through that. I'm actually in the process of getting a new one, so if anybody has, like, any recommendations of which mic I should get, just, like, comment that, please. Anyways, sorry about the bad audio.
So I'm going to keep this one short because this one may or may not come out in the future. The Amazing World of Gumball movie. So this movie was first officially announced in 2021. February to be specific. And it was meant to tie over fans between season 6 and 7, which season 7 still hasn't come out yet, but is definitely made. It's definitely being worked on. We know that it is coming out. But the movie's a different story entirely. We don't know what this movie was about specifically, but if it had any sort of tie in with the last episode of Gumball from 2019, it probably had something to do with his nemesis Rob taking over the world. Other than that, the story's kind of Usually with these sort of theatrical releases, they do put in some sort of like celebrity voice actors, and we don't know if that's the case with this one. Again, we know literally nothing about this. Although if season 7 does end up coming out before the movie, would that mean that they would have to change the story of the movie? I don't know. Again, it's just a strange project in general right now. The Powerpuff Girls versus the Joker. So the Powerpuff Girls creator, Craig McCracken, basically just admitted that this was an actual planned crossover at some point on his Tumblr blog a couple years back. This crossover would have originally paired the original 1990s Powerpuff Girls against, of all things, Mark Hamill's Joker from the Batman animated series and New Batman Adventures. Surprisingly, we actually know quite a bit about this project and the story in general. So, the Joker being this big time villain that everybody knows about was actually something that was going to be very relevant to this crossover, as the mayor would take it as some sort of honor that the Joker was putting Townsville on the map by doing his crimes over there. And the girls wouldn't really be allowed to stop him because of him putting Townsville on the map. I mean, this does sound like an episode of the Powerpuff Girls. Like, yeah, I can already see it. As far as why this project never came out, it's just because Warner Brothers said no. It's really that simple. And since they're the ones who own both IPs, I guess they get final say. The main theory I have as to why they probably didn't want to make this crossover is because it was just kind of pointless. Like, yeah, it would have been cool, but the Batman stuff wasn't even on Cartoon Network at the time. It was on like I think the Fox box, not Fox box, like Fox Kids or like Kids WB. And although this probably would have done well, they just probably didn't see a point to actually do it. I know that's kind of an anticlimactic answer, but I really don't have anything else to say.
Hey guys, this is Later Me again coming in just to say, hey, check out my other channel. Been working on some like animations and stuff, and just learning some new skills. I'm in the middle of learning Blender, not really good yet. A couple other things, sprite animation, all this stuff. If you guys want to go check it out, just check it out, I guess. Anyways, peace out. Check out the next video.